Hey y'all, and welcome to my first ever episode on the Bookish Hottie's YouTube channel, and I thank you for tuning in and joining me on this journey. So first and foremost, I'm Nakara Campbell. I'm a 30-something living in Baltimore, Maryland, and I really love books. Books are deeply personal to me. I don't think I know my love of reading came from my mother. She used to read a lot to me as a kid. Funny enough, my first book was Charles Dickens' The Great Expectations. Why my mom was reading me that book as a nighttime story, I cannot tell you, but that is one of my first books that I read and listen, which also probably lends itself to my deep love of period pieces. Like, I love a Downton Abbey, I love a Selfridge, I love a Masterpiece PBS theater, okay? Like, know the girl, it's me. And what really books allow me to do is to look at people's different perspectives, as well as look at places that I didn't think I could even travel to. So it opens up my world and my mindset to all these different places that I can go. I love a strong female character lead. I definitely do. That's definitely a thing of mine. When I was a kid, it's like teenager, preteen, I loved Peaches. I think I even have it on the bookshelf behind me. Oh, I do. I have Peaches, The Secret Life of Peaches, which is such a good YA novel, very reminiscent of Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. It's really cute and good. I definitely grew up on Sarah Dessen. That's my other girl. Sarah Dessen and me go hard in the paint. May Cabot is another one that I adore. She's the person who wrote The Princess Diaries, if you guys didn't know that. And so from there, it really expanded my reading. I am a millennial, so Harry Potter was definitely a part of my life. RIP to the person that I thought I knew as J.K. Rowling, but here we are. But yeah, so it just gave me a pathway. And then in terms of other books that I loved history books. My mom used to make me read and do book reports on Black figures, Black historical figures. Wilma Rudolph was like somebody that I deeply admire. She's someone who won the bronze medalist, in track and field, but she grew up with polio, and it's like her story is super amazing to hear and learn and listen. And so shout out to my mom for that. Now, as I've gotten older, books really allow me to think about other people's perspectives as well as how other people grow up. So I am a big reader of diverse things, and I think that is what is missing in our readership, to be honest, and the ability to connect across community. I think that's something that we are desperately need, and we honestly want to. And that's what I do over at my podcast with my co-host, but make it books, where we talk about everything, but we always make it a bookish topic because we're always bookishly hearing through life. So what you're going to hear from me on this channel is a lot about my real life, a lot about how books connect to my real life, a lot of book reviews, because I love a book review. And really, that's what you're going to get from me on this journey as we work together. So my job, my mission, my whole goal is to make sure you learn something new, we connect together in this, and we journey through this life. And I want to take a moment and thank my friend Jordan, who is a dear friend of mine who has told me to start this thing. So I would be remiss not to shout you out, girl. So thank you. So a little bit about what we're going to do here, as well, is some books that I thoroughly enjoyed this year. And I'm looking up because they're in my head, but I want to see if I actually have them. If not, I'll jump them on the screen. One in particular for me is Little Rat, by Akwezi Azemi. I believe that's how you say their name. Their pronouns are they. So please remember that as well. I like to make sure that we are addressing people how they like to be addressed. They have become one of my favorite authors. The way they can bend and twist genres, as well as allow me to think outside of me and what I think is quote unquote right. They play a lot with morality and who gets to be the dictator of that morality. And so Little Rat for me was one of those books that is very real. Okay. Let me start on the good notes of that book. Because there's so many good notes. And then I'll start on why it's probably hard for a lot of people, right? Little Rat, the colors, I can just see it play out on a TV screen or a movie, definitely reminiscent of old HBO. I can definitely see it. Like, the colors are just so vibrant, the way they described everything. But what you're dealing with in this book is the underbelly of the Nigerian sex trafficking and sex work scene. And that is something that is very real. I know a lot of people did not like it. I know for some people books is escapism. For me, I like a little bit of escape, but I don't like to live in delusion. So that's why I love this author in particular. And if you haven't read any of their books, The Death of Vivek Oji is definitely one up there, and it made me cry immense tears. You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty, which takes that title of that book, takes the name from Florence and the Machine's song Hunger. There's a line in there that literally says you made a fool of death with your beauty, and that is a beautiful, complicated, touching novel. So definitely up there for me. Love and Whiskey by Fawn Weaver is another one of the books that definitely touched me this year. As someone who dealt with, I work in politics, pray for me. As someone who deals a lot with knowing when to step forward, knowing when to step back, I think that this was a very definitive book in my year. I read it towards the end of the year, and I believe in human design. I love human design. So I'm a projector, and my not self theme is bitterness. So when I give my opinion, not my opinion necessarily, but my input or my guidance, and if it's not met with openness, then I turn into my theme, which is my not self theme, which is bitterness. So I get upset, I get angry, and what I realize, I need to be open to invitation. And I would be very curious to see what Fawn Weaver's like everything in her human design chart, because I definitely feel like she's a projector as well, or a manifesting generator as well, but that's not the point of this right now. Anyway, the way that she approached finding out everything she needed to know about Uncle Nearest and then creating Uncle Nearest, it just felt like divine and timing and divine light. And she really came in there trying to make a book, and a historical book, about the relationship between Jack Daniel and Uncle Nearest. And then she came and walked in, and it became something bigger than herself. And that I thoroughly enjoyed. And it was half business memoir, half like historian, and history of Jack Daniel, and as well as Uncle Nearest, and definitely up there as like a book I loved. How the Word Was Passed was another book that I deeply enjoyed, and I think it's something that we all need to read right now or listen to in a world that plays loose and wild with facts. It's amazing to me that facts and fact checking has become a partisan issue, when really that's the most nonpartisan thing you can do, is to be based in fact. And How the Word Is Passed is a book about how we come to believe, how we came to be here, and how the American fabric came to be, especially when we talk about slavery, race, the Civil War, and really categorizing that. And I believe that book is one of the most important books, I think, in this very big moment we are in. So definitely pick that up. I'm a romance girly. I love a good romance. Of course, I fell into the Romantasy hive, which opened me up into other Romantasy books. So of course I read Throne of Glass and A Court of Thorns and Roses. I read all of those. I just started Fourth Wing this month, as well. I'm currently still reading. But I started to delve into other Romantasy books that are written by Black women and Black people. So Blood at the Root. Ladarian! You did your big one with that one. My God, I'm obsessed. Fadebound is another one that I'm like, let's freaking go. That book can't wait for the second one. What else did I read? And it was spicy. Oh, shout out to Davin, the owner of Charm City Books. She got me into How I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon. So I need to read all of the other ones as well, because that was quite spicy. I finished it in a day. Also, I love romance just in general. So A Love Song for Ricky Wilde was definitely up there. Tia Williams. Miss Mamas. I'ma hold your hand when I say this, Miss Mamas. You do your big one every time. Every time. Every time. And this read like a movie. It was magical surrealism. That book made me cry. It was deeply vulnerable and deeply beautiful. And as someone who kind of feels like they're the black sheep of their family, this feels like something that would happen to me. So I definitely would pick that up. Curvy Girl Summer by Danielle Allen. Yes, I have it on my bookshelf. Oh, chef's kiss. 20 Seconds From Now by Jason Reynolds. Like, that was the perfect book to describe your first time and all that goes into remembering your first time. So definitely want to pick that up. There are so many other books that I read, and I'll definitely put them on my website as well, and that's theurbantea.com. That's my blog, or my Substack, which you can subscribe to, which is the Whiskey Fix. That drops pretty bi-weekly or every 3 weeks, just depending on my mood and how I want to write. So definitely check that out. But Making Books is doing our own Substack, which is called Shelf Care. So definitely check that out as well. And so, all in all, this is just me just rambling about books to y'all and giving you guys updates on everything I'm reading. I plan to do more visual reviews of the things that I read, and I plan to just talk about books in general and how they transformed me. So if I go into a little bit of tangent, just stay with the journey. That's just kind of how I am. But definitely, I want everyone to grow. I want everyone to not pigeonhole themselves, because I think with book talk, bookstagram, book YouTube, some people take this extraordinarily serious. And books are political. I will say that. Books are political. I'm not the girly who's going to tell you that books are not political. Everything, one, I'm a black person. Two, I'm a woman. Three, I'm a reader. And all those things combined, being a black woman reader. Everything about my existence is political, from the clothes that I wear to the way I wear my hair to the things that I consume. Everything about me is very political. When I walk out my door, everything is very political. And I recognize that. So those who do not look like me, identify as me, I do challenge you in this moment to recognize your privilege. I even recognize my privilege as someone who is middle class, femme presenting, straight woman. I have a lot of privilege. I don't have to worry about me not having the right to marry who I want. I don't have to worry about my next meal. These are things that people in my own family even have to deal with. So I recognize my privilege in that. I would definitely ask folks to even pick up in this moment, as I say this, is Mika Kendall's Hood Feminism, which is a challenging novel for everyone, but even for folks who look like me, it challenges you too. And also all the descriptions that I named of you, it also challenges you as well. I would also say Eloquent Rage is another book, and it's by Brittany Cooper. That is something to also challenge your thinking. And then I would even say, and I think I have it on my bookshelf, yes, They Were Her Property by Stephanie E. Jones Rogers, which talks about white women's place in slaveholding society. I think that is very, very good read and to really think about how you may fit into this fabric, or how things are come to pass. But essentially, I plan to have fun though. I plan to get these jokes off. But please hold me accountable. I encourage that. I welcome that. I think the only way we can grow as a society and as a people is if we hold each other accountable. So with all that being said, definitely subscribe, definitely check out everything, share with your friends, share with people who are also bookishly healing, share with people who are trying to stay well-read and well-rounded, which is my motto. I don't believe in pigeonholing yourself in one activity or one thing. You can be as diverse, as eclectic, as all the things you want to be, because we only have one life on this planet. And unless that's not your religion, you think we're reborn multiple times, that's real, but you only have one shot at this thing, so try everything. As Miss Frizzle says, get messy, make mistakes. So that's a little bit about me, and so I will check y'all out next time for episode 2 of the Bookish Hottie YouTube channel. Peace, y'all.